All right, so welcome to today's trade recap. Today we're going to go over gold, right? So, with my style of trading, there were about three setups today. So, let's go over them. So, the first one was here. So, let's go over the context behind this trade. So, I really like this trade idea. It just didn't play out. So we're here on gold and we're making lower lows and lower highs. What does that mean? It means we're bearish. So what do we want to do, right? We're clearly making lows and lower highs. Um, and although we get this displacement candle here, we have to look at the higher time frame. What are we leaving behind? I always say if we leave behind a reason for us to hit our stop loss, then that's probably not a good trade. So most people will probably be thinking about, oh, well, maybe this is the bottom and it's time for us to start going long. Well, let's look here. On the 30-minute and on the hourly, we have this level here, which we just left, which means any move higher here at this point in time isn't sponsored. But what are we seeing up here? Well, we're seeing that gold did tap this resistance zone here on the hourly. So any move down now is sponsored. The other part is we're clearly going down. So what does price like to do? Price likes to do one of three things. So first, it likes to trend, which obviously we're doing. We're in a trending zone right now, or trending market, might you say. Secondly, it likes to chop. This is kind of like what you're seeing up here, but at the time, we weren't really chopping. We were before, right? Not currently chopping. We're clearly making our move down. So we ask ourselves, well, what's the third thing that it's probably doing? It's probably rebalancing a range. What's the range that it's rebalancing? Well, if you take this from this high to this low, you'll see we almost get to this perfect 50%, and then we respect it. We come up here trying to reclaim this level, this Gandalf level, as you say it, you shall not pass, right? We try to reclaim this Gandalf level and we're really struggling here. And we tap an hourly resistance. So when you think about all of those confluences, you start thinking, well, we're probably going short, right? We wanna think about what are the targets that price wants to achieve here. So what do we have down here? Like I said, we have this hourly support level that we just randomly decided not to tap into. So any long here at this point in time isn't really sponsored. So we're gonna fade any long here. But what do we see? We see here, we tap into the zone. We get a huge candle wick, which some people will call that a rejection wick. This is us really attempting to get back above this level and struggling. But like I said, we're trying to rebalance this range here. So our objective here was not to come above this, but rather just to rebalance this and give us another leg lower. So we finally get this pin bar here at the top. So all we want to do is get a piece of the action. But I don't like to get in the first minute of a 15-minute candle because if you think about PO3, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, hourlies, and 4-hour candles really like to manipulate. The first minute's really important for them. So quite unfortunately, in the first minute, this trade starts going without us. Doesn't really give us the retest that I liked, at least not yet, and it starts going without us. Then it retests, which I really like this here, but then we're starting to go into a trade that has almost negative R. What do I mean by negative R? Between your current level or your entry and your stop loss and the next level, which is this support we created, do we have at least our one-to-one? If we don't, then we're placing our trade in a probability to get stopped out. So context here, context on this trade idea, A plus. A plus context. Everything around it looks good. However, execution, it's not something we can control. We just have to wait for a retest, and then go another direction. Didn't, all good. We're just gonna let that happen. So this trade, although I love this trade idea, and some people might want to get in at the break of these lows because we just had a perfect retest, we're not really getting at least our 101 here. We're really trying to stretch this out to make sure we get it, in hopes that we will sweep these stops down here and hopefully get us our 1-to-1. So for that reason, I stood down on this trade. But again, trade context on this idea, A plus. So this is the trade that I decided to stand down on because really wasn't presenting us with a valuable entry. So now that we're between this resistance and this support here, we know we're stuck in a range. So we went from a trending market to rebalancing to now respecting the support. So we just went from 3 different styles of what the market likes to do. So you need to reassess, where are we in the market? What are we doing? And what should my next play be? So here we are waiting to see what the next possible trade is. Now, you could want to take a long here and try to really take advantage of the fact that we're in this range, right? And since we're in a range, we know we're going to go from like this bottom to this high for sure. There's clearly liquidity up here. There's also liquidity down here. So what do we do next? I always say that if you do not have an edge in the market, you do not take a trade. You stand down. There was a trade idea for sure. Like if you wanted to take this long here, to take it from this bottom to this top, you could. We're clearly starting to range here now. But again, is this a trade you want to put, you're willing to put risk on? That's the question you always got to ask yourself. Are you willing to put risk on this trade? So for me, not really. I really didn't like it. My initial thoughts were that we were going lower for us to take a counter trend trade here. We're leaving these hourly support here for no reason. We left this low down here. So did we take out every reason for us to go lower? No. And so suddenly we're going to start displacing higher. Doesn't make any sense. So yeah, for that reason, I stood down on this second trade idea. Now, this third trade idea. We go, okay, well, we broke above this. Awesome. Let's get into this trade. We're finally understanding that we're going higher. And I could understand the argument here. Well, we respected the support. This low, this attempt to go lower, we break above these highs. We have this target here. Well, yeah, if you draw this out, you get clear signs of bullish order flow. Come down to some low, go higher. You attempt to take out this low, you couldn't, and we break here. Just at this context, most people would say, well, why not? Why wouldn't I just take this long here? Break of this highs here. My risk is pretty obvious, right? Somewhere around this low, and take it to the next level. Like, oh, look at this. Just seeing this, you get about close to a 2-to-1 RR. So you go, oh, well, like, why don't we like this? Okay. Let's look at the things around this trade that are keeping me out of it. For one, things that I like. Clear target. Huge wick, and we're starting to make our way to there. Clear target. Love it. Displacement candle. Love it. It means we're starting to create bullish order flow. Now, why would I be a little hesitant here? Well, we just went from support to resistance in about one candle. And it's not a 5-minute candle. It's a 15-minute candle. Probably the same thing, a 30-minute, right? Same thing. We went from support to resistance in one 15 or 30 minute candle. It's a lot of time for us to only be going in one direction. No retracements, nothing. So for me, I'd want to see this range kind of get, I don't know, rebalanced. It's a little bit too much for me to just go in on the first signs of bullish order flow after we've been doing nothing but dumping. I like this. I really like what it looks like. But for me to be interested, I'd want to see maybe a small red candle here that still breaks above these highs, for me to take some continuation on towards this target. I want to see risk being created here so that I understand where my risk is. Right now, the real risk, I know some people might put it like up here, right? Oh, okay, well, we have this resistance. We can now go ahead and turn it into support. This is what I talk about all the time. It's a pivot zone. Great. We can tap into this and go higher for sure. But after we just went in one color in one direction, think about the context here. So for that, I kind of let this trade go and do its thing. I didn't really think it was worth putting up risk for this one as well. And if you see here, if you try to take it at the break of the highs, you get burnt almost instantaneously. Let me replay that here because it doesn't look like it. But I'll show you this here. So you have your first break above, again, it's a 15-minute close. So we want to wait for the first minute, get through the first minute. Now the second part is to see if we can break the highs and create our risk management, which is probably below some of these candle wicks or below this pivot zone that I talked about. So if you were to take this trade, it'd be something like this, right? Break of the highs. You put the stops probably below these current lows because you're saying, well, we just retested this pivot zone. We want to see us kind of respect that and us to go higher. And this is when the trade idea would be correct. But this isn't really the invalidation of this idea being correct. It's all the way down here at this point. So we want to put our stops wherever our idea is invalidated. It's all the way down here, at least for right now. We haven't really created a reason for us to hold here just yet. So us expecting this pivot zone to hold you is kind of like a bare minimum way of thinking about this. We have our support down here. So this trade, again, understand why one would take it. I would stand down. I would want to see a small candle red here, hold this pivot zone, and then a break above these highs is where I would get in. And look at what happens. You get burnt almost right away. All good. Yeah, so let's see what else we have here. Remember what I said earlier? Look at this. We went from a trending market to, although it looks like a trending market here, like we're making higher highs, higher lows, we're actually back in a range. And this is the range we're in right now. This is the range we're in. We're literally ping-ponging off of support and a major resistance. What I call this a major resistance? Well, here we really tried to get above it and we really struggled. We're back here again. So if we're going to get a trade, I wouldn't take a trade inside of this zone. I would want to see us take trades outside of here or a breakdown down here. Anything inside of here, no go for me. You can obviously take a trade from one end to the other, but it's a little tough, especially with the way that price action works inside of these zones. This is a consolidation zone, so there's no reason for us to try to find a trade here, force a trade. Remember, if you don't have an edge, do not put risk up. Here we have nothing but range, and down here, after we break this low, we have enough range for us to get some 101s. Yeah, like if you look back here, the next real support is into down here. And I think you have some down here. So you have some possible trade ideas here. Yeah. So those are the three decent trades that really showed up today. But if you understand the way that price is moving and you understand how to create context around your trades, it would have behooved you to stand down on all three of these trade ideas. This one right here, a plus in terms of context. We just didn't have a good entry. It kind of went halfway through without us. By the time it was time for us to get in, it's too late. This down here, we did not take our first signs of buys. That's a little tough of a trade to take. Yes, it worked out, but what is the likelihood of this working out over time? You don't really want to get into a trade that works out half the time or sometimes. You want to gather data and understand over time how probable is the likelihood of this trade working out. And this here are first signs of holding this with some reasons for us to tap into our stop loss. Really, really, really low quality trade. So this is closer to like a B minus trade. And then up here, you get burnt trying to take this FOMO trade. This is where a lot of traders get a little messed up because you want to be in this long. You just saw this displacement and you feel like you're owed a trade at this point. You couldn't get into this first trade. You chose not to take this second trade and you try to FOMO into this third trade. But again, this is an overextended trade. This is an overachieving candle. It did everything in one candle. It's a little bit too much for you to ask it to come all the way up here, only make a small retracement, and then bust through and go towards this bigger target. Context for this trade, I love, but we want to wait for our risk to be defined. Here, risk is down here. I'm not taking this trade. It doesn't make any sense. This is a negative R trade at this point. If my risk is down here, my target is up here. And secondly, again, overachieving. We want to see maybe small candle red for us to pick up some of the buyers for us to continue going higher. I love this retest on the second time, but again, this is just 1, 2, 3 green candles for us to take this trade. Makes no sense. But yeah, that is today's trade recap on gold. There wasn't really much going on NQ, so I won't go over that price action. But yeah, if you took any of these trades on gold, make sure that the context behind your trade makes sense instead of just looking for a pattern trade of your strategy. Understanding where resistance is, where support is, where targets are. If I have my stop loss here, what is the likelihood of it getting rated? These are some of the smaller nuances of our style of trading that's going to make the biggest difference in increasing both your equity curve and your win rate. So until next time, I hope y'all enjoy this video. Peace.